Recording in progress.
Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunattu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Mavid Vishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkhad Bhag Bhave. We pray for the happiness of one and all. May everyone be comfortable and peaceful, happy at all levels of their personality. May we see that which is divine and holy. May there be no suffering anywhere. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Does anybody have any questions? Okay. Today we'll hopefully finish the 7th chapter, the Yoga of Knowledge and Wisdom. Jnana Vijnana Yoga. So we had 6 topics, 2 aspects of Brahman, how Brahman manifests itself. The vicious do not know or seek Brahman. We get some idea of what this Brahman, the supreme reality is, and then from that knowledge, we get inspired to seek it, as that is the state of absolute bliss. That is the state of everlasting bliss, unbroken bliss, Akhandananda. Then he talks about 4 virtuous types who worship God. Some who are inspired about Brahman, they seek the gods for limited ideals. So there are people who worship only for material benefits, some for mental solace. Others are just curious about what Bhagavad Gita has to say, what this spirituality all about. The 4th is that non-utilitarian, self-oblivious worshippers, the true worship. He is a jnani. He is dear to Brahman himself, Brahman itself. So self-oblivious, no thought of oneself, non-utilitarian, not looking for any worldly benefit. The moment we put motives to our actions, then it becomes a worldly actions. Selfless actions is just doing what you ought to do, no motives. So we are pursuing the path, the spiritual path, just for the sake of it, to realize the ultimate, no worldly gain. The deluded seek and gain finite fruit. So they are the worldly seekers. And then finally, the wise seek and gain Brahman. So we're talking on likes and dislikes. We covered this. Krishna personifying as the pure consciousness. In the 26th verse says, O Arjuna, I know the beings of the past, present and future, but no one knows me. With the body, mind, intellect, we cannot know the pure consciousness. Body can only perceive and act, but the pure consciousness is that which enlivens the body to perceive and act. The body cannot contact the pure consciousness. The mind cannot capture pure consciousness with the feelings. It is not an object of perception, feeling, or thought. It is the pure consciousness, is the very subject which enlivens the body to perceive and act, enlivens the mind to feel, enlivens our intellect to think and conceive. That which makes us conscious in the present, the same consciousness made the past beings conscious, and the same consciousness will make the future being conscious. So Krishna personifying as the consciousness says, I know all that everybody is conscious of. I know the beings of the past, present, and future, but no one knows me. The pure consciousness itself knows the pure consciousness. Anyway, this is like a jerk, just to wake us up. 27th verse is what we were doing. O Bharata, by the delusion of pairs of opposites, arising from desire and aversion, all beings are subject to illusion at birth. O Parantapa. So we have covered illusion, and then I recommended forget it. Right. So he says we are deluded by the pairs of opposites. We are all caught up by these pairs of opposites: day and night, birth and death, war and peace. The body is affected by pleasure and pain, heat and cold. Identifying or attaching to the mind, we get affected by love and hatred. We get affected by joy and sorrow, pleasant and unpleasant. Identifying with the intellect, knowledge and ignorance, success and failure, honor and dishonor, all these affects us. Now he says this getting caught up by the pairs of opposites is directly connected to how we deal with our desire and aversion, raga dvesha. It is said the entire Vedanta philosophy, it is sometimes said in different places, it's said the entire Vedanta philosophy revolves around these phrases, raga dvesha, likes and dislikes. Those who have done the third chapter, Krishna uses four powerful terms: Vairinam, Nitya Vairinam, Shatrum, and some other word. All these words mean what? Anybody? What does this word means? Shatrum, Vairinam. Can't hear you. I can't hear you. Somebody else can somebody Sarita say something?
Yeah, sir, can you hear me? Yeah, I think Meta's phone is not, microphone is not working.
Means enemy. Correct. Shatrum means enemy. Shatrum means enemy. Vairinam means enemy. Nitya Vairinam means constant enemy. So likes and dislikes are our constant enemy. So first of all, we should not misunderstand that it's not like Vedanta is saying we got to do what we dislike. So you like Chinese food, don't eat it. You like chocolate ice cream, don't eat it. You like winter, what do you do? How do you escape winter? Go to a place where there is summer. No, it's not that we should not do what we like or dislike. I been with Swamiji for so many years. He has very, very distinct likes and dislikes. Like, for example, furniture, he doesn't like ornamentation. Even the academy, it has its own unique, those who come and experience, it has its own unique way of doing things, simple, straightforward. Similarly, food, he has very distinct likes and dislikes. Like he likes his onions fried. Or I'm not increasing the desires, I'm just saying. He likes thin crust pizza. There's so many things he likes. But if there is something on the plate which he does not like, he will not, what you call, there is no annoyance. If it is there, it is there. If it's not there, it should not make a difference to that person. So what it means is we have a perfect control over likes and dislikes. There are three problems with likes and dislikes. First of all, I'm fast forwarding to chapter 18. The 18th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita says that which is like Amritam in the beginning turns out to be Visham in the end. That is like Visham in the beginning turns out to be Amritam in the end. Amritam means which is very nectar, very sweet, very pleasant. Visham means which is very, very detestable. Poison. Visham means poison, Amritam means nectar, which is extremely unpleasant. What is extremely pleasant, sweet, which we grab, becomes extremely detrimental to us in the end. What is extremely difficult, detestable, has a almost what you call unpleasant in the beginning, turns out to be extremely beneficial in the end. So we give the example: a car is going at 100 miles per hour speed. I don't know, all of you have heard this example, the fork car going at 100 miles per speed. Some of you heard it, but doesn't matter because this is where we have to constantly apply ourselves. Are we all the time doing what we feel like doing, what we like to do, what we dislike to do? Sometimes we are very, very proud to say that. And again, quoting Swamiji, they were having a breakfast and somebody asked across the table, somebody asked, would you like to have this jam? So the other person said, I don't like jam. And Swamiji literally jumped on that person, not physically, like, we don't want to know what you like or your autobiography. No, thank you. I like to do this. I don't like to do this. So this like we should be extremely careful about these likes and dislikes. It is not that we do not, we should not, we should constantly do what we dislike or avoid what we like, but the intellect must play its part. Where is this like taking me? Where is this dislike taking me? So to give that example, a car is going at 100 miles per hour speed. Suddenly, the road becomes a fork. It's a Y. And as far as you can see, as you're coming at that speed, the left side of the road is a beautiful 4-lane asphalted road. And the other side is a what's a kacha road, mud road. There's no road at all. Will anybody choose the mud road? You will be mad. We will say you're insane. Why would you choose the right where there is no road? Everybody will choose the left side road. But now the 4-lane road becomes 3-lane, 2-lane, 1-lane, dirt road, and suddenly you are left in the middle of the field, nowhere to go. But if you have taken the dirt road becomes a good road, a single lane good road, 2-lane good 2-lane good road, 3-lane, 4-lane asphalted road, right up to your destination where you want to be. Now, anybody coming at that speed and whatever vision they have, everybody will choose the left side of the road and end up in trouble. Only someone who is on top, let's say in a helicopter, he can see what's happening. So therefore, without knowledge, it's almost impossible. The masters say, if this aspect, if what the mind likes to sleep late, doesn't like to be disciplined. We all like to eat junk food. We don't like to exercise. Only in the beginning. What does a child like? Whole day it'll play, whole day it'll eat junk food, whole day it'll fool around. No discipline. So all the things the mind tends to grab in the beginning, all that turns out to be extremely detrimental in the end. Imagine a person taking drugs, such a high he gets immediately, but what happens later on? Completely destroys everything. His finances, his health, his immunity, everything goes. So if what is extremely pleasant in the beginning turns out to be extremely detrimental. But if we have the education and understanding that, okay, sometimes in life we have to choose what is right, whether we like it or not. Getting up in the morning, studying something like Vedanta, being disciplined, eating the right type of food, exercising, sleeping early. All the good things in life are. So this is where I would like appeal to all of you to make a note. It is only difficult in the beginning. Those who are used to exercises, it's such a joy. Those who are used to getting up in the morning, it's one of the best things that a human being can do. Those who are used to studying the scriptures, again, one of the best things anybody can do. To live a disciplined life. You see anybody living a long life and a healthy, fit life, they are disciplined. Many people say, when he goes for the morning walk, I can set my time. A disciplined life, doing things on time. All this is difficult in the beginning. Later on, it's a joy, it's a pleasure. So this we have to follow through knowledge. Only so the scriptures are giving us that knowledge. If this aspect of life was not there, we would have to take up a different job. You don't need the scriptures. You don't need people to tell you what to do. You see the good road, you take the good road. So it's like you go to a party. Okay, why party? You go to select a partner in a party, and the right person is wearing a ugly mask of sorrow, and the wrong person is wearing a handsome mask of happiness. Now, if you see the mask and choose happiness, behind that mask is sorrow. But if somebody tells you, hey, choose the most ugliest person, behind the mask is the right person, then you will choose it. So we need knowledge. The whole exercise is to make us aware of knowledge. When we keep functioning on likes and dislikes, you get bound by the pairs of opposites. This world, this entire cosmos is designed for all of us. It's for all of us, not only for me or you. So if in this constantly changing world, if any one of us have a fixed set of likes and dislikes, how does this likes and dislike be strong? By functioning on it. So I could keep on doing what I feel like doing, what I like to do, and avoid what I dislike. So this is the pure mind. The other is whether I like it or not, whether I dislike it or not, I do what I ought to do. When my likes and dislikes don't interfere with what I ought to do, I can follow it. Before the class, Not really, but before the class, I can do what I feel like doing. After the class, if I want to watch a movie or sports, I can do it. But where there is a commitment, where there is an obligation, we better do what we ought to do, what we have committed ourselves to do, whether we like it or not. So that's why Swadharma helps. Choose a field of activity which you are inspired about, which you are passionate about. But having chosen the field of activity, like I love to play cricket, but I don't like exercising. I don't like to go early in the morning for practicing. I don't like it happen. We don't like to take catches or fielding practice. We like only batting. Once you have chosen cricket, all that comes along with it. You may have to go to the press and give an interview. You want to play cricket, but there are certain things that you have to do. So, in your field of activity, choose your field of activity which you like, but having chosen that field of activity, operate from the level of the intellect. This is where you have to really put in effort, really apply all our determination, and do what is right, what is wrong, what we ought to do, whether we like it or not. Then the world will not trouble you. If we are operating on, see, a child is all the time doing what it feels like doing. Happens to, in India, it happens to girls, if the girl is very, very pampered, just keep on doing what it likes and dislikes. And suddenly, if they have to stay with, I don't know whether it happens nowadays, suddenly he has to shift after marriage and stay with the boy's family. And they're always told, do this, do this, do this. She can't do what she feels like doing. Suddenly, it's a big, by acting constantly on likes and dislikes, we lose the flexibility to adapt and adjust. And the world, when the world doesn't cater to our likes and dislikes, we get frustrated, we get irritated, we get annoyed. But if we have the discipline to to not constantly follow likes and dislikes, follow our likes and dislikes when it is safe, when it is not harmful, when it is not taking you from the goal that you have set for yourself. Goal and it's not harmful. Then you have a control. When the pairs of opposites, the constantly changing world, doesn't cater to your likes and dislikes, it's okay. If I get what I like, fine. If I don't get what I like, it's okay. This capacity to be flexible and say, okay, we lose it by operating from the level of the mind. So you don't have to discard your likes and dislikes, but examine it with the intellect and operate. And by functioning on likes and dislikes increase. Another name for likes and dislikes is vasanas. Human minus vasanas equals the self, or humans minus likes and dislikes equals the self. So if you're increasing the likes and dislikes, we are moving away from the whole mission of life. We are moving away from uh, the source of absolute bliss. You get caught up in samsara. That's what he's saying. You get deluded, very, very clear, uncertain terms, deluded by the pairs of opposites arising from desire and aversion. And when you operate, whether it doesn't matter whether I like it or not, I will do what I ought to do. So you have to have a meal. And if you're not diabetic, you like to have sweets, you have a sweet. There's no problem. It's not like you have to all the time avoid it. But where it is taking you away from your goal, or it is harmful to you, I'm diabetic and I'm eating sweets, or whatever, I have something very, very important in the morning and I'm having a late night, things like that. Uh, got to operate from the intellect. Intellect to sanction the likes and dislikes. Anybody has any question? Right.
So just one small doubt. Sometimes I feel like where should we draw the boundary? Sometimes we go overtly to try to do something we don't like. Then where to draw that boundary about like whether we like it or we have to do it? Like the Swadharma helps in this regard, I think. So
Yeah. See, it's your own intellect and your own intellect that will give you your clarity. So one point is that keep seeking higher knowledge, keep seeking guidance of the scriptures. So that will improve the quality of your intellect. See who will. So basically, when do you follow your likes and dislikes? When should you not follow your likes and dislikes? It all depends on what is your obligation. What is that you would like to achieve in your life? So once the goal is clear, this is what I would like to do in life, you decide that based on your position in life, both based on the roles you're playing, based on your talent, based on your whatever. So dharma, once that is clear, then all that will take you towards that goal. you can go for you can, what you call, you can rest, you can recreate yourself, you can entertain yourself. All that is fine. All that is included. It's not like I have a goal and I have 24 hours. Then you will be, you have to balance your life out. So as long as the likes and dislike is not taking you away from what you would like to achieve, if it's not harmful, then then it's safe to operate on likes and dislikes. So this clarity will come from your own intellect. Suppose some friend is saying, please do this for me. Now, is this really your obligation? Um, so sometimes you can't function. You see, there is a very, very important line in the Vedanta treatise. So many questions, I keep referring to this verse because, one second, this paragraph. One second, I'll just share the screen. Very, very important message in this paragraph. See, in the chapter of strength of emotion, all are good qualities. Strength of emotion. Emotions should be our strength. Generally, emotions become our weakness because the emotion is self-centered, the emotion is egocentric, the emotion is selfish, then the emotion becomes our weakness. But if the emotion is pure, which means unselfish, universal, sacrificial, not egocentric, you genuinely care for others, then emotions will become our strength. So he talks about love, he talks about kindness. So many gods, so many creeds, so many paths that wind and wind. While just the art of being kind is all that all the sad world needs. Not just kind to me and my family, kind to everyone. Each one should do their obligatory duties properly. It will be a beautiful world. There is pity and there is charity. Charity is also positive. So 4 emotions: love, kindness, charity, pity. Only pity is a negative emotion. You should not give in to weak pity. I'm reading it out. A pity is a feeling of sympathy for the sufferings of others, an impulse of sorrow for their misfortune, an immature emotion, a human weakness. Some people spend their life trying to please others, consider it cruel to break another's heart. They yield to weak pity and torture themselves catering to others' feelings. You cannot live your life thus merely feeding others' emotions. Your character lies in upholding your intellectual conviction through life's journey. See, sometimes just because somebody is saying, is please do this to me, come with me, is it interfering with your obligatory duty? Is it interfering with your higher goal? So your parents or your immediate family says something, you might have to do it because it's part of your obligation. Some stranger says something, come for my. I'm just repeating Swamiji's examples. There was this huge industrialist, very, very big, powerful business people. Their business closed down because every other day either they're going to some wedding function or they're going to some what is it, grave pravesh, housewarming ceremony. All their life you're going to parties, parties, parties. So I'm not suggesting you're not going. See, like now imagine so many of us, our source of inspiration is Swamiji. He was traveling constantly. Everybody's children is getting married or anything is happening, the card would come to him. Now imagine he would have gone, he would have not even written one book. So if he tries to, oh, now Sarita's house, I should go. She's a good student. Oh, Mehta's house, she's a good student. How can I not go? Now I am only going from house class. No, today I am going for another housewarming ceremony. Some daughter is born. It's not that we should not go, but it is not at the cost of what we ought to do in life. I would maybe he would really love to go. So he standardized it. If he's in that city, it's funny actually. If he's in the city, he would probably go after the lecture or whatever, depending on how devoted the person is. And if the person is really close to him as very, very close disciple, he will say, bless you. If the person is slightly distant, he will say, God bless you. Really fun. So, so you see, this gives you clarity. Your intellect should be, so you remember, to thine own self be true. You have heard that, no? Following your own conscience and conviction. The gross intellect should analyze analyze the pros and cons, and there will be something some within says, conscience. Go ahead. 20. I'm going to read out 28, 29, and 30. Others, I don't know how many of you have done this chart. Uh, so if you take a sample of 100 actions, the whole, every moment, this is what we have to remember and apply. Are you functioning from the level of the mind, or are we functioning from the level of the maturity, intellect, wisdom? Consider what the mind is saying and then guide it. The mind is like a child, it may want anything. So, when all your actions are from the level of the intellect, 100% discriminative, the person is sane. He's very balanced. He will never get agitated. There is no sorrow or suffering. But when the level drops, now let's say our level is 25% of the day we are functioning impulsively. Otherwise, we are okay. Such a person is called emotional. Don't go by the dictionary meaning. Emotional person in the context is one who is 25% impulsive. No, he does what is this? An emotional person yields to impulses, feelings, emotions, likes and dislikes. His mind at times slips into sorrow and suffering. When the level further drops, 50% mind, 50% intellect. Intellect is only available half the time. Then you have to be careful. With a sane person, you don't have to worry. You don't have to prepare much. You can just go and talk to him. He's balanced. But the eccentric person, you have to be very, very careful. He's in a good mood or bad mood. He frequently loses his temper, gets into his erratic, rash, unpredictable. So you have to be careful. With a sane person, you don't have to be careful. With a hysterical person, you have only very, very small window of opportunity to talk to him. You have to wait and wait and wait and talk at the right time. If you say the wrong thing, a right thing at the wrong time, gone. So they have frequent mood swings, very, very, what do you call that? Highly strung, uh, throwing up tantrums all the time. And we can see such people around us. And finally, is the insane. He may be lying in the streets doing nothing, completely insane. Um, and an insane person doesn't know he's insane. So, to the extent we are insane, we would not know. So, now there was a time I think most people were between A and B. Then there was a time that most people in B and C. Today, so much of what is mental health issues. It starts from C to D onwards. B to C is still okay. The moment you become from C to D, then the mental health problem starts. So, which means everything boils down to an uncontrolled mind. And the only way to control the mind is to apply the intellect. And the way to develop the intellect is through by careful questioning, thinking, analysis. The way Swamiji's books are written, it makes it's if you memorize it and repeat it like I am repeating, that's not going to help. But if you understand it, it kick starts the intellect. It makes the mind pure, makes the mind selfless, sacrificial, which will calm the mind. A selfish, egocentric mind a mind filled with negative emotions will be very, very disturbed. When we learn the higher values of life, when we learn to identify with others, the mind will become peaceful. And then with the knowledge, with the contemplation, with the reflection on the scriptures, the intellect becomes strong. You are able to make better choices. Yes, Sarita, go ahead.
So, just a small question. Does it like, do we have to, is there anything superior than intellect, or is intellect the final, like, the only thing that we have to achieve?
Is it okay if Krishna answers your question and not me?
Okay, sir.
I'll take you to a verse. Wait. You're asking like Arjuna, so let Krishna only answer. See, verse 42 of chapter 3. The senses are said to be great because if you lose control over the senses, you'll destroy yourself. Senses is at the level of the body are said to be great. Greater than the senses is the mind. Greater than the mind is the intellect. And that which is greater is than the intellect is he. Who is he? Who is he? See, one person wants a job. So he goes to his friend and says, hey, can you get me a job? Maybe he is working in HSBC. He says, yeah, I can try. I know the manager there. So, but there's only one problem. If so, there is one vacancy, and this friend says, can you get me that job? So he says, okay, I know the manager. I'll recommend. But if the managing general manager has a candidate, then the manager's candidate will not go. So then why don't you go to the general manager? Now the general manager says, okay, I can recommend. Um, So the friend is the senses, manager is the mind. So manager is saying that I can recommend, but if general manager has a candidate, his candidate will be selected. So you try the general manager. So the general manager is the mind. So he goes to general manager. General manager says, I know you are well qualified for this job, but see, I will refer. But if the managing director is the intellect. If the managing director has a candidate, then I don't think you will get the job. Managing director is the intellect also. He is the intellect. When will he guarantee that he'll get the job? Engineer is the ultimate, right? Who is, I think Mehta knows the answer. Who you have to go to ensure you definitely get the job? Managing director's wife. Managing director have a candidate. The managing director's wife says that this person has to be selected. So senses is great. We have to have a control over the senses, middle part. Not too much. Not have to deny and frustrate yourself. Higher than the mind, senses is the mind. So if you control the mind, see always remember that example. I'm having chocolate milkshake. No, not really. And I would need a straw to have the milkshake. Without the straw, I cannot have the milkshake, but straw is not enjoying it. Similarly, it's the mind, our nature being absolute bliss. It's the mind that is all the time seeking bliss. But the mind cannot enjoy the world, seek the pleasure without the body. Body is like a straw. The body is not enjoying. So if you control the mind, the senses will be controlled. But start with sense control because that's a practical step. Start with controlling the senses. But if you go to the level of the mind, that is what we are trying in the class. Practice self-control. But if you go to the level of the mind, you should be able to control the senses. Now, if you want to control the mind, go to the intellect. If you want to control the intellect, basically thoughts, go to the level of the self. So greater than gross intellect, subtle intellect, then finally vasanas, which we don't know. Vasanas is sleep. We cannot operate from the level of the vasanas. The way to deal with vasanas is make the thoughts very, very repetitive and very, very powerful. By increasing the intensity of your thinking, by increasing the frequency of your thoughts, you can finally interfere with your vasanas. See, we can act with the body, feel with the mind, think with the intellect. We cannot do any, we don't know what the vasanas are. Just a word. But by repetitive, it could be negative or positive. Please, I'm talking here positive. If you really encourage your negative feelings and thoughts, your vasanas will become negative, and over a period of time, your vasanas will become negative. But if you consciously, with your heart and soul, sarva bhavena, feel deeply, powerfully, frequently, as often as possible, nityam, constant, nityam. So constantly, whenever the mind cooperates, whenever the intellect is available, all the time, think good thoughts, feel for everyone, and put it into action. Then slowly it will automatically interfere with the vasanas. But finally, going beyond the body, mind, intellect, and identifying with the self, whatever happens to the body, mind, intellect doesn't affect you anymore. That we are always in touch with the self. If the electricity is not there, none of the electrical gadgets will function, right? So the fact that you are hearing, hopefully you're hearing, all of you are hearing, the fact that I'm able to move my finger, yes, the mind and intellect is saying move it, but without the self, it cannot move. Without the petrol, the car cannot function. Without electricity, no electrical gadgets can function. So there is this divine electricity within us. There is this divine petrol within us. So it is there. We are in the most intimate connection with it, but we are not aware of it because of whatever, kama, krodha, lobha, moha, etc., the impurities. So identifying with the self, that's the highest we can reach. Greater than he. This is a statement from the Upanishads. So the Gita is repeating it. See, this verse appears in the Katha Upanishad, section 3. Doesn't matter. Senses are said to be great. Greater than the senses is the mind. Greater than the mind is the intellect. Greater than the intellect is he is the supreme self. Chapter 7. Okay. Anyone else having a question? So historical insane. How a person become insane is the more impulsive, the more you're functioning on likes and dislikes, Extremity is insane person. I'll do what I feel like doing. And you can go any level. I'll whack somebody. I'll steal. I can. I'll just feel like doing what 100% likes and dislikes. You're a mad person, right? Okay. But those men of virtuous deeds, sacrificial actions, doing good to others, always thinking of benefiting others, those men of virtuous deeds, and this has to be performed for a long time. Don't worry how long, just keep performing virtuous deeds. Then the mind becomes pure. When we perform selfish, egocentric activities, and it is not the activity, it's not what you do, it's with what intention are you doing. Learn at least the minimum that you have to learn from the Gita is this spirit of service and sacrifice. Whatever you do, do it with a spirit of service and sacrifice. See, I don't know percentage. Whole world is working to for money, wealth, a very very cost level. Now, when I go to the office and work selfishly and egocentrically, will I get the salary? I'll get it. If I go and work in a spirit of service and sacrifice, will I get the salary? Yes, I'll get it, sir. So it's people have a weird concept that unless I am selfish, will I get the salary? Will I get the salary? Only then I'll get the salary. Salary has got nothing to do with the attitude of the mind. Salary has got to do with the action. Vedanta is not saying don't stop, don't. Vedanta is not stopping the action. Action can continue, but why can't we function with a better attitude? When the attitude is spirit of service and sacrifice, it's not about the salary. You will be peaceful and you will evolve spiritually. The attitude of service and sacrifice exhausts our vasanas. Whereas a self-centered, egocentric attitude, your vasanas are increasing. The philosophical person, the spiritual person understands, you will get caught up in the cycle of birth and death. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam. So why waste this precious opportunity? We should be extremely, extremely grateful to the scriptures and the masters that they have told us. First of all, they are telling us that the vasanas, the ignorance is preventing us from realizing that paripurna nature, that absolute blissful nature, which is within us. Now, how do you, okay, first awareness, my God, I have something which is covering the bliss of the self within. Then what do I do? Start acting in a spirit of service and sacrifice. That's karma yoga. So the moment you act in the spirit of service and sacrifice, you are performing virtuous deeds that will make the mind calm, quiet, serene. When we act viciously, means with selfishness and egocentrically, the mind is sinful. Virtuous deeds, sins come to an end. So the opposite, selfish and egocentric activities will ultimately make the mind very agitated. Sin is agitation. Fret from the delusion of pairs of opposites. Worship me with firm resolve. Firm resolve is not mind. Firm resolve is intellect, determination, not a casual effort. Doesn't matter, like the river, doesn't matter what is the obstacle, doesn't matter how many times we fail. Failing is part and parcel of life. The great philosopher Swami Vivekananda says, thousands of times you have to fall before character is built. Over many, many lifetimes, he says. Let's not go to that. But just don't worry about success or failure. Just give your best as much as possible, wherever you are. Slowly, slowly, over a period of time, you will find that, oh my God, how much we have changed. The best way to change is to not look for it, but keep trying. Keep trying with a firm resolve, unflinching determination. Somewhere in the Bhagavad Gita, maybe it will come in the 9th or 10th chapter. The most important quality is, they say, every quality we say most important quality. Doesn't matter, whatever inspires us. The most important quality is unflinching determination. Because if you don't have determination, everything else will go. You have to have determination to start coming to the class, have to have determination to study properly, have to have determination to sort of control the mind, not listen to it all the time. Determination is very, very important. Determination for what? Determination to worship me. Me is the supreme self. I've covered that many times. Worshipping is with the body, service and sacrifice, with the mind, a spirit of surrender. I am doing whatever I can. Rest, it's all up to you. You know what is best. Whether the sun should rise or set, the monsoon should come or not come, earthquake should happen or not happen, how long I should live or not live. All that is not my jurisdiction. I humble my ego. You decide. Devotion. And knowledge is keep gaining the knowledge. At least half an hour, 1 hour every day. That will make everything else spiritual. You don't have to go to join a church, mosque, or temple and become a priest. They may be very selfish. The three priests are there for a temple, 8 hours duty. The second priest called, hey, there is an emergency. Can you stay longer? No, no, no. Every day I'm making me stay longer. They are standing in front of God and they're saying, hey, you should be happy, no? I remember a couple of years back, I was in a South Indian temple. So we were traveling. On the way, we decided that we'll go to this temple. We didn't have much time, and something was happening. Some ritual was happening. So 1,000-year-old temple, incredible, no? As I'm saying now, I'm getting goosebumps. But there we were a little bit impatient. Like, when will the door open? When will we go? How long to stand in the queue? So one lady in front of us quietly said, there is a reason we are waiting here at a 1,000-year-old temple. Just enjoy just feel the vibration instead of being impatient. Oh God. Like, yeah, I don't want to explain more. So you got to be alert. Mind takes over every now and then. Worshipping. So study the scriptures, surrender in devotion, have good feelings, and sacrifice. That is worshipping me. This has to be done with firm resolve. Doesn't matter here and there we slip. I'm not encouraging slipping, but if it's not happening, great. If it's happening, come back with a firm resolve. 29 verse. Those who strive for liberation from old age and death, taking refuge in me, same. Worshipping, pursuing the self, understanding the self, feeling inspired by the self, and pursuing the self with the body, mind, intellect. They realize the whole Brahman, Adhyatma, individual self, and all karma. Karma comes from the self. All electrical gadgets are functioning because electricity is there. So all functioning of the electrical gadgets are from the self. The individual Atma, see, the Atman and Brahman, they are one and the same, absolutely one and the same. But for uh, for better style, I mean, generally we say the all-pervading reality is Brahman. The self which is enlivening me is Atman. Microcosm is Atman, macrocosm is Brahman, but there is no difference. Brahman is like sunlight, Atman is like one ray of sun. If you say the Brahman is in me, it is correct. The Atman is everywhere, it is correct. Generally, we say the Atman in the human body and the Brahman everywhere. But they are one and the same. There is no difference. It's like pot space and total space. Cupboard space and total space is one and the same. So you will realize if you worship the self consistently, this journey will end in self-realization. You realize you are Brahman. Brahman is everything. Apart from that reality, nothing exists. It is everything, everywhere, in every being. So many present. It's like once you wake up from the dream, you realize it's mind and mind and mind alone. Nothing apart from the mind exists. The whole dream was just a dream. So, but here, this is an interesting phase. But it says liberation from old age and death. See, one thing we have to understand that without the body, nothing happens. This journey of life, Anubhava Dhara, from experience to experience, a car is taking you from one place to another. This body is a vehicle which is carrying your inner personality, your mind and intellect from one experience to another. The journey of life is with the body. Without the body, what life? No. So body is like a vehicle. Give it the right food, take care of it properly. But even if you are whatever, Mr. Universe or Miss Universe, best food, best exercise, everybody's body will go through birth, growth, disease, decay, and death. Death is inescapable. Death is unavoidable. Therefore, death is considered to be a fabulous teacher. Everything will come to an end. By not taking care of your body, you can accelerate the process of disease, decay, and death. It may happen. So the quality of life will depend on the quality of the body, not death. You may be the world's fittest person and die in an accident. Remember, we have absolutely no control over that. 3 days back, I heard a 6-year-old child within fraction of a second died in an accident. Imagine what the parents are going through. I mean, this kind of things are happening all the time. We have to wake up. Wake up means understand that so many things are just not in our control. It's a delusion to think. I mean, in one point it feels it's natural that older people will die first and younger people will die later. But that's not the way it is. A child may be born just to, the way of putting it is, the whole world is a stage. We are all men and mere players. So a child may have a 6 months role in this stage. So he plays 6 months and goes away. We have absolutely no control. So death we cannot control. This birth is painful. Even Charlie Chaplin was born crying. All children come out crying only, no? Birth is painful. Nobody cries, comes out laughing. I don't know. Birth is painful. Growth. Keep saying no. How many times we have to fall, and then all these schools study geography, study history, study chemistry, this exam, that exam, unit test, and this test. Growth is painful. Disease is painful, decay is painful, but death is also, I don't know, we don't know what's happening. Whole life is sorrow and we still want to live a happy life. It's a perspective. The Buddha says very, very powerfully. What is life? I don't know where he said that, but one of my friends told me. He says, Dukkham, 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 Shunyam, 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 Shipram, 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 Anityam, Anityam, Anityam. Dukkham means sorrow. The world is sorrow, sorrow, sorrow. Desires are not fulfilled, pain is there, suffering is there, wars are happening. So the darkest, we not be pessimistic, but understand there is a painful side of life. Dukkham, Shunya means it's hollow. The best of things are the best of things we imagine will give us happiness, but the moment you have it, it will not give it. I'm in my friend's house. He's gone, I think. Now, there's a little bit of sea I can see, but it's a rented place. Now, he was saying his ambition is to actually own a flat here, which is very good. South Bombay is one of the most expensive properties in the world, I think. Now, I can go to a friend who has a own house in Tatakim. So what? Till we have it, it seems attractive. The moment you have it, you are looking for something else. So I'm not saying we should not, but this imagination or delusion we should overcome that something in the world, some achievement in the world will give us that absolute joy. No, temporary joy. Tatakim, so what? Ultimately, so what? You can be a simple person and realize yourself, you will be blissful. You may have conquered the whole world. You don't have the bliss of the self, you have nothing. There is a verse. It just highlights all the great achievements. You have the best family, best wife, best guru also. The best guru, you are most knowledgeable, most this. But if you don't have the bliss of the self, no, I think it says if you don't have the grace of the guru who will give you the knowledge of the self, you have nothing. Ultimately, if you don't have the bliss of the self within, nothing doesn't matter. So this five metamorphic changes: birth, growth, disease, decay, and death. And awareness of that should inspire us to seek liberation. Seeking liberation is momokshatva, yearning for liberation. How? Like a man's head is immersed in water. Desperately. Desperately what? Desperate to do karma bhakti jnana properly. Desperate for spirit of service and sacrifice. Desperation should be to clean up the cupboard properly. Desperation should be to go for a morning walk. Desperation should be to get up in the morning and study the scriptures. Desperation should be to forgive anybody you hate. The desperation should be to entertain good values. Entertain good feelings, do good to others. And then why? To liberate oneself from these five metamorphic changes. Okay, I don't want to rush. I said last class. There's a spa in the Kerala. Every time they said this is that we are launching and launching, then they make it pre-launch and they launch again, again pre-launch. Similarly, not last class, next class will be the last class. Learn with the prayer. I have to leave for some place. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you, everyone. We'll take up questions in the next class.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Very well. Thank you, Dr.